Welcome back. This is part 2 of lesson 12, rational numbers. Let's go back and look at our multiplication problem types, paying attention to the vocabulary. Repeated addition is the combination of A groups of B objects. So you're looking for words such as for every, each, or per embedded in the story problem. Rectangular array or area is the physical arrangement of A and B objects in a rectangular array. Right? Multiplicative comparison involves the multiplicative comparison between two quantities. And then reminder that the Cartesian product, the combinations, we're looking for pairs of objects from two sets, but we know that this is not something we're going to use for fractions. Okay, multiplication problem types. What is the story problem type for each of the below? Story problem 1, Dawn had 2 pounds of coffee. She used 2/3 of it over the course of a week. How much coffee did she use? Now, here's a really interesting thing is that when you're teaching children from K to 6, coffee probably isn't something that you're going to reference. It's not something that we want to encourage children to indulge in. The research that it stunts growth. So be thinking about that. Probably 2 pounds of what? So how could it be related either to the theme you're teaching, something that you're studying, with social studies or science? With that being said, if you're looking at geography and you're talking about different areas of the world that produce coffees, then this may be relevant. Okay, so Dawn had 2 cups of coffee. She used 2/3 of it over the course of a week or 1 week. How much coffee did she use? It's a multiplicative comparison. You are comparing how much Dawn had to how much she used with that relationship. Okay. One more. Really cement this in. Story problem 2. A recipe calls for 3 1/4 cup of sugar. If Dawn wants to make 1/2 of that recipe, how much sugar does she need? The recipe calls for 3 1/4 cup of sugar. If Dawn wants to make half of the recipe, 1/2 of the recipe, how much sugar does she need? That's repeated addition. Why? There is a for every idea embedded into the problem. Every recipe requires 3 1/4 cup of sugar. Okay. Make sure you're connecting these dots, and again, you can hit rewind. That's the beauty of the video. Okay, so let's cement these things. Remember the avocado video from lessons 9 and 10? Okay, so I'm not going to play this video, but each of these images are linked if you want to go back and repeat. This is an example of repeat addition. Let's look at rectangular array.
Everyone, welcome back to Mashup Math. Anthony here, and thank you for joining me on this practice problem. Let's check it out. Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome back, and thank you for joining me on this problem where we are going to gain some experience solving real-world problems involving multiplying 2-digit numbers using area models. So let's go ahead and model this situation. We have a grocery store owner who ordered 43 boxes of donuts to sell in her bakery section. And we also know that there are 24 donuts inside of each box. And finally, we have to use this information to figure out how many donuts will she receive in total. Now, it should be fairly easy to tell that we're going to have to multiply the 43 boxes by the 24 donuts in each box to find the total number of donuts. However, if you're a visual learner like me, multiplying numbers like 43 and 24 can be tricky if you don't have a visual model. So we're going to go ahead and create our own and use it to find the product. So we are going to go ahead and construct a rectangular area model to represent the multiplication. Now on the top row of the model, we're going to put 43 and on the left column, 24. Starting with 43, we can represent this in easier terms, and we could think of 43 as the sum of 40 and 3. These numbers are much easier to work with.
Okay, just to pause here. Again, notice that we're using different text colors, right? We're using the green to highlight important information. And this is next level, so you're scaffolding with this multiplying 2-digit numbers.
We can do the same with the value of 24 by thinking of it as the sum of 20 and 4. Again, these numbers are much easier to work with. And now we can go ahead and find the value of each section of the area model by multiplying corresponding rows and columns. First, we'll start with the product of 20 and 40, which we know is equal to 800. Then the product of 20 and 3, which we know is equal to 60. Next, we can find the product of 40 and 4, which we know is equal to 160. And finally, the product of 4 and 3, which we know is just equal to 12. And now that we have completed our area model, we can use it to find the value of 43 multiplied by 24. And we can do this by finding the sum of those 4 values inside the area model. So we take 800, 160, 60, and 12 and add them all together to have a total of 1,032. So now we can conclude that she will receive 1,032 donuts in total.
Oh yeah!
So whenever we have to multiply weird numbers like 43 and 24, try using strategies like constructing a visual area model to find the product. So that's it for this lesson. Thank you again so much for stopping by, and I will see you all next time.
Okay, so that video took it, again, it's next level, right? So it's not just donuts 24 on a tray, but that took it to the next level where we're multiplying. Again, still using that area, rectangular array or area model, just in a different display. Okay, let's do one more together. This is multiplicative comparison. Again, involves a multiplicative comparison between 2 quantities. There's a times as many relationship to the 2 amounts.
The type of word we are studying today is called a multiplicative comparison. Yikes! Let's try that one more time. Multiplicative. Multiplicative. Multi for multi, like multiplication, and comparison for comparing 2 things that are different.
Okay, so again, hitting pause here for a minute. You've heard me struggle with this vocabulary word, so this breaks it down visually. Multiplicative. And then the visuals, multi, gives you that multiplication symbol, and plicative, comparison. In this case, she used apples and oranges. So this might be a time to have your children think about 2 different things, why they're different, right? Sometimes we need to zoom out of our lesson, give the brain a break on math, and then reel them back in.
Multiplicative comparisons happen every day all around you. Have you ever heard someone say, I I wish I was as tall as my sister. Or maybe you've heard, but her shower was twice as long as mine. These are examples of multiplicative comparisons. You might hear phrases such as long as many as, or as tall as when comparing two things that are not the same. With Paul's help, we're going to practice some multiplicative comparisons together. Are you ready? Get your pencil and some paper.
Okay, get ready. Again, you can hit pause on this video anytime you want or need to.
This is Paul's friend Superstat. He can fly twice as high as the building next to him. If the height of the tower is 100 feet, then how tall would be twice that size? Now's your chance to press pause and ponder.
Okay, let's take a look at this. If the height of the tower is 100 feet, then how tall would be twice that size? Okay, so really want you to think about the imagery that you're providing the children. If this is 100 feet, then I'm suggesting that in your classroom, let's just call this 2 inches top to bottom. Maybe you've done this on copy paper and cut the tower out. Make sure that 100 feet is represented appropriately. This, they've cut it in half, right? So this can be confusing visually to your students.
Now's your chance to press pause and ponder. In my word problem, I see twice as high as. That helps me to know twice or 2 times as high as. So I'm going to do 2 times the amount of one tower, which is 2 hundreds on top of each other. Superstat can fly 2 times 100 feet. How many feet is that? You got it, 200 feet.
Okay, if you want to watch the rest of that video, it's hyperlinked in the slides that are also posted. Okay, I want you to consider the videos that we reviewed and which one did you like best and why. Don't forget that and why. So you might want to write some notes down. And if you were to alter one aspect of each of the videos, what would it be? Might be something you add or subtract. For example, the multiplicative comparison, the final video that we watched, I really didn't like the music behind the video playing. I think that can be really distracting to some students. Each of the videos and the resources are linked above, and I encourage you to start exploring not only through our class, but which of the videos are you comfortable with? So Khan Academy, Mashup Math, and Taylor Mandala created using Powtoon, which is an app to create videos. Final thoughts, Khan Academy tools. Check out Khan Academy. Okay, here's the video that we watched for lessons 9 and 10, but the videos also have the Common Core State Standards linked. And if you click on that Common Core State Standards, then it opens up, okay? It shows you more details. And you can click on this image as well, take you right to that page. If you wanted some extra practice on lesson 12, you can go right ahead and do that. The extra practice in your workbook and the solutions are in the appendix. The recap of lesson 12 is here as well as in our submodules of lesson 12, excuse me. And then the application information. And there is one additional resource, and